Hey girl, welcome back to my channel. So I have my gorgeous model slash friend slash good sis here, Jayla, and we are going to do a natural beat down for her, okay? So of course, first things first, we are prepping the skin using the Micellar cleansing water. And also, I am using the Pond's moisturizer to moisturize her face. After I work this into her skin, you will see me then go in with the e.l.f. primer. And then we will start on the brows from there. I'll be back. And now what you see me doing is using a translucent powder. And this powder is just going to pretty much soak up all of the excess oils that's on her brows. And so that will cause for the brow pencil to stick better. I do not remember what shade this is, but I will link it down below. But it is the brow pencil by Benefit. And on this particular part with the brows, because the brows do sculpt the face, you just really want to take your time. So you'll see me brushing and really taking my time on this particular part because we want these brows crisp and we want them snatched, okay? So now I am going in with the Milani. I believe it's the 2-in-1 conceal in warm beige to scope out her brows. Along with that, I am using a pump of her foundation color as well. It's just going to mix those two. So I'm just highlighting the brow bone because you really want that part of the brows to pop and stand out. And in the beginning of the brow, I will use the foundation shade because we don't want a halo brow girl, okay? So sit back and watch. Yeah. And now what you see me doing is using a buffing brush to blend out the concealer and blend those two concealers together so that we can get a seamless finish. And here, this is a good tip to follow when carving out the brows. You really just want to follow the natural shape of your client's brow. You do not have to make them smaller or bigger than what they are unless that's what they request. So here you just see me following the natural shape of her brow and just carving that out. Alright, so now we are moving on to foundation. The foundation that I am using on her is the Black Opal. I want to say in Beautiful Bronze. That is the shade I'm using, and I am just placing this all over her face. And then I'm just going to take a Real Techniques blending brush to blend this out, and I really take my time with blending out this foundation. This foundation is medium to full coverage. It's one of my favorite drugstore foundations to use, and it works for all skin types. And yeah, so just watch me blend. A pro tip with blending is you want to always use a light hand, and you want to pat, 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 pat. You do not want to ever drag your foundation, okay? So moving on to concealer, we are using the Milani conceal, yeah, I believe same color as we used for her brows in warm beige. I will have everything linked below, and I'm just placing that underneath her eyes. I'll place it down the bridge of her nose, on her chin. And placement is very, very important when you are placing your concealer. Concealer is, used to lift the face and brighten the face as well. So you don't want to place it in the wrong area. So just pay attention to where I'm placing the concealer. And also I'll begin to blend out the edges first, and then going in with a Real Techniques brush, I will begin to buff out the under eyes as well. So when you see me blending out the under eye, you will see me go between two different brushes, a smaller brush and then a larger brush. With both brushes, I am using a very light hand to blend everything out. But I'm going in between because sometimes the larger brushes can't reach those smaller areas like where the tear duct is, and that's okay. So you can go alternate between two different brushes if you need to. And for the contour, I am using the Fenty Beauty contour stick. I do not remember the name right now, but again, everything will be listed. And I'm just using that to contour her face and her nose as well. Now this technique that you see me using, where I took the concealer and carved out underneath her cheekbone, is reverse contouring. And what it does is it just really causes for the cheekbones to pop. And I'm being sure to really blend that out because you don't want to allow it to be too bright. So I do mix her foundation shade along with the concealer to do that. And now I am going in with the Laura Mercier setting powder. I believe this is what? I believe this is the blurring powder. Again, it will be linked below, and I also bake with this powder as well. Now, this is one of my favorite parts, is the contouring and bronzing. So I'm using the Nude Persuasion palette by Makeup by Melissa to bring some color back into her skin. And you also see me using the foundation brush to blur out the edges of that. I'll also use a Juvias Place palette to go in with the blush. I will be using the orange blush. If you have not used the orange blush, then sis, what are you doing? Okay, so you'll see me go back and forth with that between blending as well. So now I'm prepping the eyes for the eyeshadow, and I will be going in with just a dark brown from the Nude Persuasion palette. So now we are going in with the MAC lip liner in the color Chestnut. I will also be using NYX Lingerie. I do not know the color of it, but this particular lipstick, they no longer carry, I believe. I cannot find it anymore, unfortunately. But I will be centering that with the NYX Butter Gloss and Fortune Cookie, and that of course can be found at your local beauty supply store or Walmart. And then just popping on some clear gloss. Now you see me spraying her, melting in those powders with the NYX Fix Plus spray as well as the Urban Decay. And now I am just pressing that in and enhancing her blush. Now let's hear what sis had to say about it.
Raven. You look so good. Girl, it never fails. And it just melt like butter, baby.
It does every single time.
They gotta get into it.
Every time.
Stop playing with my girl.
Every time.
Every time. Stop playing with my girl. Listen. All right, honey.
Period. Thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next video.